Hello guys, and welcome once again to Savannah Essence. We are on our body butter series, and this is video 2 in that series. I just wanted to show you our body butter we made in the first video. If you haven't watched that, I would kindly advise that when you are done watching this, you watch that. I will link it up here somewhere, so you have a look at it. But this is the first body butter we made in that series, and as you can see, it is excellent. It has this nice soft silky texture, and it easily applies onto the surface of your skin. However, this body butter can seem a bit hard, the texture, and sometimes some people want something a bit softer and fluid. And so we want to make this second batch where we sort of want to make a creamy, luxurious butter that is still very fluffy, and so in doing so, what we are going to do is to reduce the amount of our butters and increase the amount of our oils. In the first video, we used 70% butters and 30% oils. In this one, we are going to be using 60% butters and 40% oils, or 30-something% oils, and then we'll be adding some additives to this. So we started out by measuring our cocoa butter and then measuring our shea butter as well. Cocoa butter is the hardest in these two butters. So what we are doing is that we are reducing it from 15% to 10%. And so that's what we're going to be doing for this particular butter, and then we are going to be using 50% of our butters. We are also going to be using another strategy. In the first video, what we did was to melt our butters and then come back and add our liquid oils. In this one, we are going to be adding our liquid oils straight into our butters, melting everything together and then freezing them. So we are going to be using different techniques, and as you look at those techniques, you choose which one works for you. The first one, we did not add our liquid oils into our butters to melt, but this one, that's how we are doing it. So again, we are using the same oils, coconut oil and sesame seed oil, for this particular body butter. So next, we have everything in here. We're going to melt it down, and we have it melted down into this nice simple oil, and this oil has everything that we need, and we're going to pour it as usual into our bigger bowl and then put it in the refrigerator just to get it solidified and standardized and not have any issues with graininess when it comes to whipping and all those other things. So here we are. Our butter is solidified, and it also still very soft to the touch, and so we are going to begin whipping. So whipping is usually a simple process that we can all go through. If you have a hand mixture, you have a kitchen whisk, you can use that. You have a stand mixture, you can use that for your body butter. When it comes to whipping your body butter, especially if it's a small batch, you can just whip it all in one go, and maybe for 5-10 minutes everything is fine. If it's a larger batch, what you need to do is to whip it, leave it for some time, maybe some 10-15 minutes, come back, whip it again, leave it for some time, come back, whip it again. That way you get a fluffy and nice butter, or nice butter that you need. But for smaller batches such as this, you can just whip everything in one go, but I will not do that. I will just whip it, try and leave it for some time and then come back again. Always also ensure that you scoop everything, especially from the edges as you whip, so that you don't have some parts of it becoming fluid, fluffy, and some parts of it still hard. You need a consistent butter, fluid butter all through. I think at this point it's gotten to a very nice smooth texture that I like. We can start adding in, our additives. So in the first video we just made the oils and the butters, nothing that we added. In this video we're going to begin to now start adding our additives. We are going to be adding our vitamin E. Our vitamin E is our antioxidant, which helps in preserving your butters and your oils. It's not a preservative. It helps to reduce oxidation of the oils and the butters because those are naturally occurring. They sort of react with ultraviolet rays and other environmental factors, thereby sometimes causing rancidity or causing it to oxidize very fast or go rancid or spoil very fast, if I use simpler terms. And so you usually want to use vitamin E to sort of reduce the rate of oxidation, thereby limiting the amount of time that it gets oxidized. And so you get to preserve the natural shelf life of the butter. So if your shea butter had a shelf life of 2 years, you can still have that shelf life because you've added vitamin E to it. And we are also now adding in our fragrance oil. And then finally we'll be adding some arrowroot powder to it. So arrowroot powder is supposed to help limit the amount of greasiness that these butters and oils have. A body butter essentially is just a mixture of oils and butters, like we discussed in the first video. And oils and butters, we all know, are oily, and so sometimes when you don't choose your oils properly, you tend to have extremely greasy body butters, making you look so oily and so shiny. Sometimes it's not too attractive, and the arrowroot powder is supposed to help with that. And so that's why we are added that. So basically these are some of the simpler additives that you can add. We have colorants and other things that you can add, but basically on the whole, these are some of the additives that you can add. So now our butter is ready. As you can see, this is a creamier, more fluid, more fluffy butter. This is more like an ice cream consistency, because we have more oils, and also the hardness of our butter is sort of reduced. And so this is how this our body butter looks. It is very nice. So we're going to begin scooping it, and when you scoop, this is how it looks. It's a very softer body butter. It is still pipeable though, so you can still pipe this. The first one was you could easily pipe it if piping is something you'd want to do. And this also, but this is more lighter. This is more or less like a thick lotion consistency. So this is our nice and beautiful body butter. Like I said, this is a more lighter, fluid and fluffy consistency, unlike the other one that we did. And very shortly I'll let us do that comparison and we'll see. But this is how to make a fluid and a fluffy body butter. If you make it and you think it's too hard, all you need to do is reduce the amount of butters and increase the amount of oils. If you do it and you think it's too fluid, too light, all you need to do is increase the amount of your butters and also reduce the amount of your oils. So it is simple, and I really like this consistency. It's very nice and it's very simple, and we can all make it. And it's this it also applies nice and easily. You see it easily and quickly absorbs into your skin. You don't really have to rub this in. It melts right onto the surface of your skin once you apply it, and that's one thing I really like about this. And the arrowroot powder indeed helps with the over greasiness of the body butter. So this is how to make a sample body butter. So this is the first one that we did. This had a much more harder consistency, like I told you. So this is how this is. You see, this is a bit harder, unlike the one we just made, which is a bit more fluid. So depending on your temperature or your weather, you could choose any of these recipes, whichever one will suit you based on your climate and your weather condition. If you want something more softer and fluid, you go with the first or the second recipe. If you want something more harder that can withstand maybe hot weather conditions and not melt easily, then you go with the first recipe. But they are all excellent and they all melt nicely and easily onto the surface of the skin. So this might look like it's a harder bar or it's a harder butter, but once you apply it on the skin, also that also melts quite easily onto the skin, like so. It's not something that you have to rub in for a long period of time. No, it also just melts right into your skin and it's beautiful. So this is how to make a body butter. I hope this has been helpful. Please do make these simple body butters and share it with us, and let's see how it goes. Which of them do you like? Share in the comment section which of them would you make. Okay, let me know. All right, bye bye.